Good morning. It is Friday, January 23rd. And yeah, today I'm mainly going to talk about the Jack Smith public testimony in front of the House Judiciary Committee. But before I get into that, I just want to say, yes, the deal Trump made with NATO wasn't really a deal at all. It is him basically just agreeing to what was already in place, has been in place for years. I just don't know if we should really be talking about that publicly because we know how much Trump will just change his mind instantly with him. He's saying he's not going to use force against Greenland. But if we keep pushing the topic, do you think he's going to stay away from that? That's the main reason I'm not talking about how bad his deal was. And good morning, Pinky. But yeah, talking about that deal could cause him to fly off the handles and go back to it. We've had very public mainstream people talking about it, and it's kind of scary. The people of Greenland just got saved by his stupidity, but his stupidity could also cause him to go back to it and put their lives back in danger. Because with his deal, yes, we're getting plots of land on Greenland. The U.S. has already had plots of land on Greenland that they can use. We have a military base there. It's been that way. But yeah, do I think we should all just be making fun of how stupid he is because of it? No, because his people do search the internet for this stuff. They do watch certain creators. They watch Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel's one of the people who talked about it and made fun of how stupid he is for taking that deal. It could backfire. So I really hope he doesn't see that because I don't want him to go back to attacking Greenland. Anyways, yes, yesterday Jack Smith did testify in front of the House Judiciary Committee, and it was an absolute shit show. Basically what happened is, to sum it up, the Republicans went on the attack. They didn't use any truth, really. They just went out and started attacking him over stupid things. One of the guys who actually went to school to be a lawyer. This is, I can't remember his name. He's from California, but he tried to get Jack Smith to admit to breaking a law that at the time when this case was taking place, this investigation took place, was not a law. It's a law this administration put into a place because they were like, oh, we left a loophole for them to be able to find us and find out what we were doing. So we got to cover that up. So that was probably the most impressive person on the right, like for a Republican to come out and attack. The rest of them just went off complete, utter lies and nonsense that had nothing to do with anything. They basically went after his process. Like, oh, do you think that you were the best person to do this case? And that was like their biggest attack. But their whole thing was railroading. They'd ask him a question, and the second he starts to answer, just start railroading it and like running over him, not letting him answer, and then ask him why he's not answering the questions. It was absurd. But Politico also caught on to the fact that nothing they said was true. Republicans tried to snag Jack Smith, on technicalities, but they didn't engage with the facts. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. I was hoping Jack Smith would be able to say some of what he found in his report, but even the Democrats didn't let him really do that. It was kind of sad. And of course, he couldn't talk about the stolen files, like the stolen documents case, because Eileen Cannon put a gag order on him, so he's not allowed to talk about that at all. But yeah, it was where I summed it up on Discord was basically you got to watch Republicans sit there and actively beg to slurp out of Trump's diaper in an attempt to catch like Jack Smith off guard, I guess, by asking him a bunch of nonsense that had nothing to do with anything. I mean, one person even went out of her way to just go with blatant lies. Like, well, the whole country knows that he didn't do any of this stuff, so why would you accuse him of doing that? And if you were put on this to investigate him, why would you go into the mindset that he had something to be investigated for? Because that's what he was hired to do. He was hired to investigate him. So yeah, when you're going to investigate someone because that's your job, you go into it understanding you have to investigate this person. Like it was dumb. And the whole reason his report never wasn't able to be finished in time was all because of Merrick Garland. The guy sat on his hands for the whole term and waited till last minute, till he knew there would not be enough time to prosecute Trump. Merrick Garland is a piece of trash. A good person would have went out, someone who knew how to do their job properly, would have hired a special investigator right away. Right away, before the election even got close. That way it'd be wrapped up 2 years before the election. And then Trump would be in prison right now. Well, we know how things go. He would be in like some cushiony place where he gets to leave and go home every day and just has to spend the night there like once a week or something like that. But there would have been punishment, and we would not be in the situation we are in now. Merrick Garland is 100% the cause of that. Anyways, let's see, where were we? Instead, Republican committee members spent much of the hearing challenging the technical aspects of Smith's probe into Trump's election interference, including whether the veteran federal prosecutor properly signed his oath of office as special counsel, and if he was significantly cognizant of the Constitution's speech or debate clause, because they wanted to try to prove this fact in front of the people. That's why they did the first hearing behind closed doors and this one publicly. That way they could get their question straight. And they're trying to say that basically he violated the speech or debate clause, even though, which is part of the First Amendment for them, even though trying to commit fraud, verbally fraud, a phone call calling someone to say, hey, I just need you to find this many votes so we can win. That's not protected by the First Amendment. That's a crime. A verbal crime is not protected by the First Amendment. That is not what it's about. If I was to go out and be like, hey, I'm going to kill someone on a recorded line, and they use that against me in court, I'm going to go down for it. I can't be like, well, my First Amendment right to say I'm going to kill this person. That's not how life works at all. Look at these people in the past who have been arrested for saying there was, what was it? I think it was a Florida guy, some guy who lived in his mom's attic or something like that. He was on 4chan, and he was talking about how he was going to kill this cop. He planned to kill this cop. And then he would try to cover up with in Fortnite or in Minecraft. And he got arrested for that because it's not your First Amendment right to commit a crime or say you're committing a crime. I mean, plotting to kill a cop is a crime. Plotting to kill anybody is a crime. It's ridiculous. The lengths they went to try to protect this guy. A guy who the country knows, the majority of the country knows, is a criminal. If only we had a majority of the country vote against him. I understand Kamala wasn't the best choice in the world. But there are times where, sadly, we have to look at it and be like, well, there is a better choice than something. And a lot of people probably didn't assume it would be that bad because Trump was blocked by his administration most of the way. Most of the evil things he wanted to do his first term in office were blocked by his administration because they were like, we can't do that. We just can't. People actually said no to him. But this time, he picked a group of sycophants, people who will just let him do whatever he wants, violate the Constitution, violate people's rights, because they don't want to stand up against him. They might have been vocal against him at one point, like Mark Rubio. He was against him. He was verbally against this guy for a while. But then he decided to bow down, get on one knee, and Trump was like, okay, well, you're never going to turn against me again, so you can be in my cabinet. Yeah, but where is it? They also, Jim Jordan, this dude, it was anytime a Democrat came forward and was like, hey, I want to submit something on the record, which is just more blatant evidence that, Trump committed crimes. Before the person can even get done saying what it is they want to have committed to record, Objection, 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 sometimes 3 or 4 times while the person's talking, just to try to cover up the facts so that people can't hear fact. But yeah, and I'm not just bashing on them. Democrats did their own share of like doing absolutely nothing. There was like one person. I can't remember his name. I cannot remember the guy's name, but he actually came out and he pointed out, I was a prosecutor for years, and what they're running on is nonsense. He was one of the few people who actually put fact out there and focused on what needed. Yeah, another one who came out and said something about showing his character, like where were you on 9/11, where were you on January 6th, stuff like that. Like, tell us about your career. Building a character, I get that. That's what a lawyer would do in court, so I get that. But a lot of these questions were just ridiculous. But committee chairman Jim Jordan, who shouldn't be leading anything, pressed Smith on his view of the House's now defunct select committee, because that was their big thing. They also went on this tirade about how the January 6th committee deleted evidence and cherry picked to make a video about January 6th, when in all reality, it was when they gave the footage to Fox News. Fox News took it, and Tucker Carlson showed this video of like, see, look it, they're all peaceful. Why would they say that they're all innocent? They were just kindly walking through here. There was nobody being hurt, nobody attacking police. And it's like, you're dumb. We saw it live on TV. It was live. We watched it. And they think just editing a video is going to be like, oh yeah, see, it was calm. It was peaceful. But they're accusing the January 6th committee of being the ones who deleted it, which that rumor came out a few years ago, and it was thoroughly debunked. He also questioned the panel's reliance on someone who is questionable, which is Cassidy Hutchinson, who a lot of her testimony was secondhand hearsay. I get not wanting that, but they wanted to prove this point that he had not decided to take her off of the stand altogether should the case have gone to court. She had some things that were proven true, but yes, the things that she said were hearsay. She admitted, this is what I heard. I was not there for. So obviously, when they took her to the stand, those things wouldn't be brought up because it's hearsay. You can't base anything off hearsay, especially when you have 2 sycophants who were there who are going to deny it all. And that causes big issues. But they're still afraid that Trump's going to get taken down because they understand the crimes he committed are not going to just go away. They can be brought back up once he leaves office again. Do I think he'll ever be charged for it? He'll ever do actual serious time? God, no. We're never going to do that to a president, just ever. Even when they deserve it so thoroughly as much as Trump does, it'll never happen. It'll never, ever happen. I mean, it is really to the point now how he said in his first term or before his first term, whenever it was, that he could shoot someone and nobody would like bat an eye at him. They would just let him get away with it. That's pretty much how it is. I mean, I don't see a cop ever going to stand up to him. I don't see someone to arrest him. I don't see a lawyer ever being able to actually take him down because the system's rigged against him in his favor. He's committed so many blatant crimes. He's a racist douchebag who him and his dad got sued for being racist when they owned their property business, and they were writing the C on the back of the applications of some people to be like, hey, see, they're colored. We can't have them live in our buildings. And then after they lost that lawsuit, they turned around and sued them. Sued those same people they just lost to and won. That's the world we live in. He's been getting away with this douchebaggery for years. He's never going to do any time, like ever. They also questioned him on the fact of phone records. How he went and got phone records without letting the people know. Like it was McCarthy, who used to be the Speaker of the House, got his phone records. And they wanted to make a big deal about it because they kept it secret and didn't let them know. When I'm not an investigator. I'm not a cop. I don't do this kind of stuff. But yeah, I understand you're not going to let them know. On the offhand, they can go and change stuff, or they can start plotting a story. You do get that in secret. You don't let them know. That also adds to them being a flight risk. They could just vanish. And yeah, I understand they want to try to prove the point. You think the Speaker of the House would just be a flight risk? Yeah. Yeah, because the Speaker of the House, no matter who it is, they're just a person. And it's a person who took part in committing a crime to overthrow the government. As Trump likes to talk about, what is the punishment for treason? That's what that would be. So yeah, I'm pretty sure someone would be like, should I stay and risk dying, or should I just take off? These people aren't good people. Like, I don't think many politicians are good people. Most of them do take money from corporations to choose corporations over people. We have people who side with genocidal maniac countries. Like, I was sad to see that Jasmine Crockett is one of the latest to do that. That now she supports the genocide. That's disgusting. That's absolutely disgusting. You lose all respect when you do something disgusting like that. That's just as bad as everything Trump does. Like, don't support genocide. Ever. Ever. How can you be against what Trump and ICE does when you're going to go ahead and support Israel annihilating a whole nother nationality, a whole nother race? Like, it's a whole people. That is disgusting. That is vile. Yeah. Yeah. And all of them voted to continue funding ICE. Yep. They're all pieces of shit. We don't have really anybody to support the people. They're vile, racist assholes. Every single one of them. We need to be able to choose our politicians. The thing is, once they get into that seat of power, they're not at all the person who you probably thought you were like voting for. Now they've turned into this evil waste of space. I believe everybody in our government should be completely replaced. 100%. And have oversight to where if they start turning against the people can then get rid of them. Because let's say Jasmine Crockett has a bunch of people who, don't approve of ICE. Like, the majority of her caucus doesn't approve of ICE. They should be able to then be like, oh, you made that decision? You're out. You're out. That would be a much better government if we could get rid of these people, which is what I was talking about yesterday. We need new rules, new policies, ways to get rid of politicians. Like, it would be beautiful for Pennsylvania to be able to get rid of Fetterman after he basically conned us all. He was like, oh yeah, I'm a Democrat, but yeah, I'm just going to fully support Trump on everything he does. No, we should be able to get rid of him right now. The second he came out and started doing that stuff, you're out. Goodbye. No more job for you. You don't deserve it. You don't look out for the people. You look out for a guy who looks out for number one, or you look out for a country who wants to look out for number one as well and wipe out a whole nother nation. That's not cool. It is vile. It is vile. Who was this? Oh yeah, Jamie Raskin. Jamie Raskin was probably the most interesting person to listen to. Just because I don't mean interesting as like factual. I mean, it's interesting because he is very proper. He is a former professor, and he is just the best at talking shit. Our Republican colleagues want to try to dirty up this investigation, but they want to try to avoid as much as possible of the underlying facts because it's all about what's incontrovertibly true. Donald Trump's determined plan to overthrow the 2020 presidential election. He meant to say chairman a few times, and I'm pretty sure even the the captions on PBS thought he was saying German Jordan. And I just couldn't help but take that as like he's saying Nazi Jordan, which, I mean, would be true. Jim Jordan is basically a Nazi. If you're part of this regime, you're a Nazi. There's no denying that. Yeah, Jack Smith is a deranged animal who shouldn't be allowed to practice law, is something Trump said. And they read that back to him. Republicans said, like, this must be true. They called him worthless. They called him a liar, that he's not fit to do any job. Yeah, they did a lot of name calling because they have nothing to actually talk about at all. Like, nothing to talk about. But yeah, it's sad. It's sad. I wish we would have had more information. I wish he would have been allowed just to more or less talk and throw out his entire case, given I understand he can't do the documents case, which we saw it all. We understand that was illegal. That's without a doubt, that was not legal, especially because Biden then turned his in and Trump wanted to say, well, he did it too. He broke the law. Okay, Trump, you're admitting you broke the law. But no, we're going to overlook that. We're going to overlook the fact that he admitted he broke the law. Anyways, yeah, it was a 5 hour video of wasting time. We didn't get much information. We just got to see the Republicans make a complete joke of themselves, more of a joke than they already are. And we got to watch the Democrats, a couple of them do a decent job and other ones do nothing, which is typical what we've been getting from them. And then, yeah, in the middle, they go and vote. Like, they started the hearing and then had to leave for a vote. That was the vote to, continue funding ICE, to make them the highest paid police force in the country. Yep. Even though their job is supposed to be taking place at the border, they're walking around the rest of the country, terrorizing citizens, pointing guns at us for no reason, just because they're scared. We watch them slip on ice, which is hilarious that ICE is falling on ice, just for them to get up and then try to instantly attack a person who had nothing to do with them falling. That's what they do. They attack American citizens and arrest us and kill us if they feel like it. Wonderful world we live in. Fun times. Do I think this hearing at all helped Democrats' chances of winning the election coming up, the midterms? No. Do I think it hurt the Republicans? Maybe a little, but also if you're voting Republican, you're not smart enough to understand what happened there. You're probably agreeing with the fact that they're saying this stuff. You probably think it was good that Jim Jordan shot down any piece of evidence that went against Trump, which means you're too biased, way too biased. Do I want Democrats to win just to get Republicans out? Do I actually want them to win, though? No, I want them to be replaced with people who actually look to the left, who lean left, who want to take care of the country, every single person in this country. Will that ever happen? Nope, because we're owned by corporations and other countries. Fun times. Fun times. But yeah, that's really all I want to talk about was how disgusting of a 5 hour event that was. Well, 5 hour with breaks. How they went and screwed us over middle of it, or near the middle of it, to go vote and keep terrorists in our country. And yeah, hopefully something eventually happens one day. If the Democrats do win the midterms, we might be in a slightly better place. It's still going to be a disaster unless Trump decides to go through with what he's been teasing for a little bit of like, hey, we're going to cancel the midterms. Yeah. But most of all, people need to unite. Also, not forget about the Epstein files, but we need to unite and show that there's more of us than there are of them. not saying be violent, but a show of numbers. If everybody, and this is why I wish we'd all do, everybody who's been doing these No Kings protests, who's been doing like the Renee Good protests and all this, or not protesting Renee Good, but protesting ICE because of Renee Good. If every single one of us got together and went to DC and protested around the White House, have a show of actual numbers. I'm not saying raid the Capitol building. We're not going to be terrorists like the people on January 6th, because they are terrorists. They should be locked up forever. But yeah, we should unite, show a true show of force, and not just do a one day on a Saturday protest. Stay there for a week. None of us are working for an entire week. We're staying there and protesting day and night. Once that economy collapses, because the millions of us are there protesting, the country can't function without us, things will change. Because those people who are getting paid by the corporations will start freaking out. And they'll have to give in. Or Trump will just say, shoot them all. Which I don't think the National Guard would. Most of them would say no. You might have a couple that would shoot, and they should be arrested afterwards because they're also terrorists. If you use illegal force against a civilian for political means, you are a terrorist. Which that seems to sum up every politician, every person who voted yesterday to fund ICE. Yeah, the only way that's the only way to get through to them. You have to make them lose money. So, general strike. And if not just a complete countrywide general strike, at least the people who are protesting, which should be millions of us in DC. It'll hurt them. It's going to hurt them in the wallet, and that's the only thing they understand is the wallet. But yeah, that was all I had. So I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. If you're in the path of the storm, which is coming on Saturday or Sunday, hope you stay safe and warm, because that does not look fun. I'm in that path, and I'm not looking forward to it because we just had like 2 days of snow over the past weekend. So yeah, that's going to be fun. But yeah, until Monday, when I will be here again, you all take care. Stay safe. Hey, thanks for watching this video. And if you could, please help us out and give us a like, maybe comment, and subscribe. Better yet, share our content. It's pretty dark times out there, and this is topics that people need to hear. It's what's best for our country. I mean, we're talking about better politics. And also, if you want, join our Discord. Carry on the conversation. It's a fun time. And until next time, you take care.